To make it easier to understand the notion of intelligibility, it has been divided into different components. This analysis of intelligibility into different components was done by Smith, and he divides intelligibility into these three components. Intelligibility is one of them, then comprehensibility and interpretability. According to this analysis, intelligibility refers to a level of sound and passing. For example, when you hear an utterance, you are able to distinguish between different sounds, recognize those sounds, and assign different categories to them. So you hear different sounds in utterance, and you're able to identify those sounds as different words. So that is what intelligibility means according to this analysis. If you look at intelligibility in this way, we can deal with this everyday occurrence of not being able to catch what somebody is saying. So if you do not understand what somebody has said, and you are trying to assign different categories to the sounds that you hear, you can always ask the person who's uttering the words to clarify what they're saying. So you can make a clarification request by saying, I didn't quite catch what you said. Could you repeat yourself? Could you say that again, etc. You can also use a repair device, or the speaker can use a repair device. For example, they can say the same thing again in different the words or in a different way with more clarity if you have difficulty in catching the accent, etc. Such an utterance can also be stored in your memory, and you can, without interrupting the speaker, you can keep it safe in your memory somewhere, store it in your memory, and check it later when you have time. You can check what the word was and what it meant, etc. Sometimes, even if you do not fully understand an utterance, or you do not catch each word in an utterance, you still are able to understand the overall meaning of what the speaker is saying because of the redundancy which is found in that particular speech or in that particular utterance. So because of the repetition of information present in an utterance, sometimes not being able to understand a certain sound or a certain word doesn't really matter, and the utterance is still intelligible. Researchers use different methods to understand or to gauge the intelligibility of different users of languages or different users of English. One method or one technique which is used to gauge the degree of intelligibility of the users is that the users are, or different individuals are, made to hear a certain closed text, and while they are listening to the text, they also complete the closed text. By closed text, we mean a continuous text, not isolated sentences, but a complete text, a paragraph, or any continuous text. So the language users, they are made to hear a closed text, and the text has blanks in it. So the listeners would listen to the text and try to fill in the blanks. If they're able to complete the blanks, fill the blanks correctly, it shows the number of times or the number of blanks they are able to fill correctly shows the degree of their intelligibility of English. So if they get all the blanks filled correctly, they have a high degree of intelligibility, etc. So the recognition of the spoken word is, and being able to reproduce it in writings. How do you realize, or how do you figure out whether the listener has recognized the spoken word or not? You do it by making the listener write those words. So, recognition of the spoken word is considered an evidence of intelligibility, and it is gauged by making the speaker write those words. and this is one of the techniques that researchers use to gauge intelligibility, making different individuals hear text and write down what they are hearing in different ways. One of the techniques is filling in the blanks in a paragraph, and in this way intelligibility is gauged.